Jarrad, can you tell us about the 4 inclusions and Jack Darling in particular?
Well, he's been out for a couple of weeks, stating the obvious, and we're thinking he can add to our team. Is where we fell short last week. With his contest and pressure work, he's been training really well. When he went out of the side, there were some things in his game he had to work on. He's done that over the last 2 weeks. Had a waffle game, did it well at training. So, he comes in, and we're expecting him to play his role. The other ones, obviously Waterman and Yo come back in. Unfortunately, McGovern doesn't get up. So we'll didn't get through his test this morning, and we'll hopefully get him right for next week.
Who will come in for McGovern?
Well, Petruccelli comes into the 23, and then we'll decide how that all unfolds.
Just missing McGovern, how big a blow is that?
Oh, yeah, obviously he's a quality player, and he would have been handy to have against their 3 tools that they've got up front. But gives another player an opportunity.
Was he close?
Yeah, he was close. That was pretty tough, as we all know. For him to want to go sort of take it to the line, we sort of had to take it out of his hands a little bit in the end. But he just wasn't right, and it's not fair for him to go out there. Tom Barassa's 150th game, he would have loved to have been out there with his partner in crime, but at the end of the day, he wasn't right.
So you've said before that this last 6 or 7 weeks is going to be largely about this exploration. There's a balance there, isn't there, with someone like Jack? How do you strike that balance to fit him back in?
Well, as we're doing it this week. He's been out for 2 weeks. 293 gamer to have that conversation 2 weeks ago was tough. We've just seen it with Brad Scott, with Dyson Heppel. They're tough decisions, but he's gone about it the right way. We want to find the balance between the exploration part around our youth and our list, and also we want to win games of football and we want to compete. And we think he can help. Jack Williams down there as well, and he can help our side this week.
Justin, obviously you've lost senior experienced heads. How did you go throughout the week knowing that you were losing really important players and really important leaders?
It gives me satisfaction and confidence that Drapes has played a lot of footy for us this year, and we haven't. We've had some. We've had Piercy missing, for 3 of the last 4 weeks anyway. So, players have had to stand up when Piercy was missing for the first time, and Drapes will come in and take his spot and do what he's done for us all year. Sonny's played well for us last week, and adds that leadership as well. But I don't think we're relying on those 2 in particular for leadership. I think we've seen great growth in not only the rest of the leadership group, but a lot of players who aren't in the leadership group in that forward line in particular really grow this year. And Josh Tracy and Jai Miss and Freddie and those type of guys. So we'll miss their skills, and they're great players and performed really well last week. But the leadership stuff, we should be able to fill the void.
Talked last week about how deep your list was and how many guys you could pick from if you had to, and now suddenly you have to. Do you feel like it's an opportunity for these guys to prove why they should be in the team for the rest of the
year? Yes and no. They've got an opportunity this week. It's really what we're focused on. As I said, Drapes went out of the team last week. My message to him was be ready. You never know when another opportunity is going to come. You've proven to yourself and us and everyone around the club that you can play and belong at the level. So he didn't know his opportunity was going to come the next week, but it has. And we expect him to play his role. And Tommy's played a lot of footy for us early in the year. He's had to work on a few things, and a bit like Scully was talking about with Jack, he's gone back and worked on those things and really been in really good form. And it's just, sometimes guys are in good form in the waffle and they just have to wait for an opportunity to come. And one's presented for him this week, and I'm sure you'll see a better version of Tommy with the work he's put in since he's been out of the AFL team, and he'll equip himself really well.
And with Walters, at what point was he aware of the hammy? Is it the same hammy as last time, and how long?
It's a different injury. It's the same hammy, but it's a different injury. And he had some awareness during the game. Which is a bit remarkable that he was able to finish the game and see out the game, but probably thought it was just a bit of, maybe he copped a cork he didn't know about, or just a little bit of tightness or fatigue. So we got it scanned and got a worse result than we were expecting.
How many weeks do you expect to win?
We're thinking 3 to 4. So slightly worse than his other one, but we're hoping he gets back before at the end of the season.
And with Piercy, has he been locked in for surgery, and do you have some sort of timeline on that?
Yeah, he had surgery yesterday, so had another plate put in. So he'll get out of hospital today and start his journey back.
So will it be a similar timeline to last time, or does it need a bit longer? Given
We're thinking probably 4 to 6. Yeah.
Have you seen him since surgery, or spoken to him since the surgery?
No, I've seen an Instagram post. Looked all right. Looked like they did a good job. No, I got an update from the medical department. They've said it went really well. So, like I said, he'll get out of hospital and start his rehab process.
Jarrad, people would say this is your grand final, the one game that's going to matter a little bit more than the others. What would you say to that?
I would say that it's another opportunity for us to get better. I think I said it last night. You got to get excited about derbies. I've been a part of two. I've been a part of the showdown in Adelaide, the derbies, and I think it's a great opportunity for our young players to be exposed to this environment. Yeah, there's a little bit more in it because two WA teams going at it, but it's not our grand final. It's definitely, we haven't talked about that. It's about us getting better from last week where we let ourselves down, and once again we get a great opportunity to expose our young fellas and our senior players to lead.
Justin, will you talk much about what happened in round 6?
Oh, we touched on it, because you usually go back to the last game against the opposition you're playing, and you also review their last 3-4 weeks. So we touched on it. We think there's a fair bit of water gone under the bridge, and since then, and we're a different team. We're different stages in different parts of the ladder. We're on the same journey as what Scully talked about there. It's another game. We played well last week, but wasn't a full quarter performance. And we're trying to reach that level where we can put a consistent product out quarter in, quarter out. And we didn't do that last week, so we need to improve on that.
Jarrad, do you talk about what happened in round 6?
Once again, we go back and we look at that, and it was one of our few wins for the season. So we've been mad not to go back and look at what we did well, but we also understand that Freo are a better side than what they produced on that night. They've been playing some really solid football, but we know the areas that we need to get right for ourselves. You always got to look back on that and give out affirmation to our players of what we did well, and that's what we've done. But we understand where we're at as well and how we need to be better from last week.
Justin, obviously, Yo and Reed got away in the midfield that night. How different will you be in the midfield compared to how you took them on last time?
Oh, yeah, we have to acknowledge that and set up slightly different. We'll change some things up. I'm not going to go into too much detail. He's sitting right next to me. I'm not sure how much information I can give, but we haven't got our heads in the sand.
Is that where you spend a lot of time, like working out that element of that was where the game sort of really won and lost?
Clearly clearance was important that night, and clearance has been one of our strengths and an important part of every game. But there's contests all over the ground that we weren't good enough in that night. So it's not just on the mids; it's on all of us. So
Jarrad, can you stretch them a bit in attack with Alex out?
As Joe just said, they've got Draper in, so they've. I don't think we can stretch them. We'll definitely try and get our players to play to their strengths. With Jack Darling in, as I said, he plays a role for us. We've got Oscar Allen, Jakey Waterman back in, so we just want them focused on us. There'll be some strategy behind it, but we don't want to go getting too funky with it. There's things that you can implement. But I'm not going to put them on the table now either. So,
go on.
Your form line says that when your team plays at home in front of a big crowd, they get great energy off the crowd and they produce strong performance. And when you haven't got that, or you're away, they don't have that energy. How do you manufacture that energy when you're on the ground, but with a crowd that's not going to like you?
Yeah, interesting, isn't it? How many supporters are we allowed to have in the ground? I don't know. So we'll need them cheering as loud as they can. You're right. We have performed in front of our home crowd really well, but being home, but at the end of the day, we got to be, like I keep saying, we got to be better, and it's about getting consistent in what we do, and we get the opportunity to do that here in a quality game.
Jarrad, previously you've used
Alex Witherden as sort of that third tall or to take the tall defender played on his height. Without him this weekend and out McGovern, how do you look to handle the three talls you spoke about before?
Like you said, someone will have to size up and play a little bit taller. Brady Hoff can play taller. But we've got some options. I keep mentioning about Jack Darling and his role. So we'll see what happens there.
So there's a chance you could swing Darling back?
Oh, I don't know.
Tom Barras plays game 150.
Yeah, 150. Jakey Wardham was 100. So, really looking forward to those gentlemen, reach their milestones and play well. And we acknowledged them this morning. Their wonderful service of our footy club. And I think any milestone game, whether it's a 50 game or a 100 game or 150, 300, I think they've got to be acknowledged. And, we're hoping that our guys really produce the football that they deserve.
Bit outside noise around Tom Barras and his future. How's he handling that in the lead up to this game?
Seems pretty focused on playing tomorrow night. He's a quality person and he's committed to playing good football for the footy club. That's all I can tell you.
Jarrad, those tall blokes that have come in, do you expect them to spend a bit of time in the ruck to help out Bailey? It's a big job taking on Luke and Sean.
Yeah, we've been using Jack Williams doing that. We've got options there.
How close was Matt Flynn?
Matt Flynn, we're just glad that he's back playing. He'll play, I think, about 90 minutes in the waffle. It's just great to have him back playing. He's had obviously a wretched run with injuries this year, and for him, it's about just getting continuity with his football, and so he'll play about 90 minutes with the waffle.
JL, Pipes done some nice shutdown roles recently. How has he embraced that sort of job?
Oh, he's embraced it really well. He's accepted any job we've thrown at him, whether that's run with roll or some defensive roles he does in transition. Like I keep saying, he just wants us to win and he wants to play an important role in us winning. So, couldn't be happy with the way he's embraced it and then executed it.
I know the fans would love to see him play on Harley Reid tomorrow. What do you think?
What am I supposed to say to that? Like, he's sitting next to the opposition coach. I'm not going to give him too much. And I know he's just said that Darling's going to play back, but I don't know whether we'll give him that.
If they were to play on each other, it would be a spectacle.
Well, I'm sure they'll match up on each other at times. Yeah, I mean, we don't get caught up in the spectacle of the game. We get caught up in, trying to win stoppages and trying to, kick more goals than them. So, I'll let you guys work out the hype around that.
And do you reckon Darling will play back?
See what happens. I think, no.
Jarrad, you talked about forward half pressure. I mean, couldn't have got much worse last week. Has that been one of the key focuses for you this week?
Definitely. When you don't have a tackle in your forward 50, it's pretty evident you need to go to work on it. But there's method behind that. You've got to get field position. And we talk about stoppage, centre bounce, and then how you defend behind that. And we just didn't execute that last week. And when we play well, it's a key to our game, like all teams.
Jarrad, you've gone for a very tall side. Are you concerned you might be too tall?
Not really. Tall is interesting. We say tall. Young Hutchison, I think he's 190 centimetres. JD's 191, if that's what we're referring to. So I wouldn't say we're tall, but it's also what that person can bring. And obviously, I don't think we are tall. We want our talls to play at ground level, like Jake Wardham. He can obviously move at ground level too, even though he's been clunking him in the air. He's had a fantastic year. But no, I don't think we're too tall at all.
Dustin, you talked about in-game consistency. Most times you've spoken to throughout the year, the clock ticking on the season itself and trying to establish yourself as a contender. Is that the difference between being top 4, top 8, or premiership contender this year, do you feel?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, absolutely. I think every team has moments in games where they don't get the game on their terms, which is clear for everyone to see. It's just how we handle those moments, which has been a little bit disappointing at times. We've gone away from the things we can control, which we've been working really hard on. Like, as you said, it's been probably a theme all year. Last year we were inconsistent game to game. I think we've been able to put a pretty reasonable product out there week in, week out. It's just been able to strive for that consistency in game. So we've talked about that this week. We're not going to win every quarter on the scoreboard, but we can win it with the things we can control, and we just got to keep trying to embed them and come back to them when the game's not on our terms.
Does it sharpen the focus when you get to this point of the year and everyone knows that clock is ticking on the season?
Not really. We don't. You don't necessarily look too far ahead, no matter the stage of the season. We haven't spoken about any other team apart from West Coast this week and what we need to improve on from last week. So, step by step.
And no curtain raiser here tomorrow. Did you have a say in trying to get avoid that and avoid a Geelong Bulldogs scenario where it might be a bit wet for?
No, I didn't have a say in it, but I don't mind the outcome. Yeah, no, it's disappointing for the game that got shifted, and it's disappointing that they don't get to play in front of at Optus. But the surface has been an issue all year, so the less games we can have on it to allow it to improve, the better.
And just for both of you, you both had long football journeys. What's the relationship been like between you both over the years?
Personally?
Yeah, between you two.
Hardly spoken. We do have mutual friends, but we might be enemies for the next. No. Look, we've had time across our football careers, but not too much communication. Like, this is my first little presser in the Derby, so just getting used to this. He's experienced, so we'll get some advice probably after the game.
Do you remember each other as teammates?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll cross.
Not that old.
Haven't been in the job long enough.
Jarrad, you saw Fremantle play last week. What did you see?
Very sharp football side. Their shape on the ground. They had all phases of the game going really, but they were just really honest in the contest. Their ability, obviously, get speed off contests. Back to the contest part, they really beat up Melbourne, and it started with stoppage. The damn walls are broken when you're 14 zip. They had it stoppage. They were very clinical, so they're sharp. They were, I think they got about 4 or 5 goals out against Hawthorn down in Tasmania, and that says a lot too. So they're in some form, and it was a great challenge and great opportunity for us to test ourselves and get better from last week once again.